Today I would like to bring our attention to one of the moments from David's life. And I believe that towards the end, we are going to learn something from that story. I would like to read from the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17. I would like to start with verse 31. When the words which David spoke were heard, they told them to Saul, and he sent for him. David said to Saul, "Let no man's heart fail on account of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine." Then Saul said to David, "You are not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are but a youth, while he has been a warrior from his youth." But David said to Saul, "Your servant was tending his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and took a lamb from the flock, I went out after him and attacked him and rescued it from his mouth. And when he rose up against me, I seized him by his beard and struck him and killed him. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, since he has taunted the armies of the living God." And David said, "The Lord, who delivers me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear, he will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." And Saul said to David, "Go, and may the Lord be with you." Here we just read a dialogue between David and Saul. And Saul, he was not really excited when David, he told him that, about his desire to go and to fight a giant. Why Saul, he was not excited? He mentioned that. He said that you are young. And also, David, he had no military experience. Nevertheless, there was something convincing in David's words which changed Saul's mind and which made him to bless David afterwards. And I would like to go back right now to this dialogue, especially to the words of David, and to see something would make Saul convinced to say to David, "Go." Let's read once again, verse 34. But David said to Saul, "Your servant was tending his father's sheep." Basically, what David says to Saul, he says, "I am a shepherd." That was his role. And we know from the Bible that even his family, they were seeing David in this role. When Samuel was asked by God to go to the city of Bethlehem, to the house of Jesse, to appoint the next king of Israel, Jesse, he presented 7 sons. All of them were rejected by God. And here Samuel, knowing that God had sent him exactly to the house of Jesse, asked him, "Do you have another one?" And what Jesse replies, verse 11, chapter 16, "There remains yet the youngest, and behold, he is tending the sheep." It's kind of like, yeah, there is another one, the youngest one, but he is a shepherd, he is there. And even after David, he was appointed to be a king of the Israel, still, his family, they see him as the shepherd. His older brother, in front of whom David was appointed as the king, when David came to the camp and when he was sharing ideas about like what is going on, why everybody is afraid of this giant, when Eliab, he heard his words, what he said to him? He said to him not very pleasant words, and one of them were, "And with whom have you left those few sheep in the wilderness? Hey shepherd, what are you doing here? You need to do your job over there." And comes a question here. Did David by himself left those sheep? No. His father has sent him to his brothers. Was it first time that David did so? Again, no. In the beginning of the chapter 17, which we just read, it is written, verse 15, and it says, "But David went back and forth from Saul to tend his father's flock at Bethlehem." The question is why he was doing that. And we find the answer earlier in the chapter 16, and it says that David, he was called as a musician to the house of Saul to serve him. Every time when the evil spirit would come upon Saul, David was playing a musical instrument in order to calm down Saul. Nevertheless, doing so, he was still continuing to do his job as a shepherd. David's family, they chose him a role, a shepherd, the youngest one, a shepherd. And I have a question. At this time, when this dialogue was going on, did David already had good reasons to say to his family, like, hey guys, you know, like, I already served you for a long time. I already did my job. Like, now it is time to move on. Now it is time to do something different. I'm already appointed as the future king of Israel. I'm already called to Saul's house to play personally to him a musical instrument. Yet, when David, he stands before Saul, he says, I am a shepherd. And first point which I would like to make today is that David, in a humble obedience, was fulfilling his duty. Let's continue reading. Verse 34. When a lion or a bear came and took a lamb from the flock, I went out after him and attacked and rescued it from his mouth. And when he rose up against me, I seized him by his beard and struck him and killed him. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. David was a shepherd. How do we imagine a shepherd's life? Probably somewhere in the mountains, sitting in the quiet place, watching his flock. And David maybe playing instrument, writing a song. He wrote a lot of them. Yet we see, yeah, maybe someday it looked like this, but not always. We see that there were times when a lion would come, when a bear would come. How he would react in such situations? I don't know about you, but I thought of myself, maybe like, you know, like I will try to find a safe place for myself and sheep or the flock. They are going to figure out what to do. You know, but David's reaction is quite different. What David was doing when a lion or a bear would come, the Bible says that he was going after a predator. After he was attacking it, and next he was rescuing a poor sheep from the predator's mouth. And if a lion or a bear, they would not agree with David's actions, what he would do to them? He would kill them. 3 questions. How many from the flock could be taken at once by a lion or a bear? Probably just one, right? And another one, was it worth it to risk a life for just one sheep? Here we can apply a logical answer and we can say that one by one can disappear all, right? But I believe that there was another reason. I believe that David, he felt responsible for those who were entrusted to him by his father. He knew that those sheep, this flock, they cannot protect themselves. And the second point which I would like to make, that David was faithful to his duty even when his life was at risk. Let's continue reading. Verse 36. And this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, since he has taunted the armies of the living God. David says that the same thing, what happened to a lion and what happened to a bear, it is going to happen to a Philistine. And when I was reading these words, I was just like questioning, David, do you realize what you are saying? Can you, yes, we know, lions are scary, bears are scary, but can you even compare them to this giant? To whom the whole army of Israel, they were afraid of him. And when we read the chapter 17, verses 4 through 7, we read their description of this mighty man. And we can see that, yes, that guy, he was scary, and probably I would feel the same if I would be challenged to go fight against him. Nevertheless, David's words were filled with some inexplicable confidence and courage. And I believe for sure his brothers, they would not like these words. Even Saul, he told him, and he said, you are not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are but a youth, while he has been a warrior from his youth. I believe probably the most Israelites who were in that army, they would probably say the same to David. Nevertheless, where is this courage? Where is this confidence which David has, which we can observe from his words? Where is it coming from? Let's read verse 37. And David said, "The Lord who delivers me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear, He will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." As we can see that David, he didn't trust it, his strength. He didn't trust it. Maybe we don't know. Maybe he had this natural strength that God had given him, but he doesn't trust it. What he trusts? He says that the Lord, not me, that the Lord who delivers me from the lion's paw, that the Lord who delivers me from the bear's paw, He is going to deliver me from this Philistine. David, who trusted God in little things, he knew that He is not going to fail him in a bigger challenges. And the third point which I would like to make is that David trusted the Lord 100%. Summing up, I would like to say, be faithful in little things, and God will appoint you for greater. Even if you will forget everything from this sermon, I want you to remember, be faithful in little things, and God will appoint you for greater. Why God is doing this way? Why God, He does according to this, let's call it this law. We read this in Luke chapter 16 verse 10. He who is faithful in a very little thing is faithful also in much. And he who is unrighteous in a very little thing is unrighteous also in much. The one who is faithful in little things, he is also faithful in much. God, He knows this law. Let's look again at David's life. He was entrusted with little duty, which was to shepherd his father's flock. Probably it's not something with which you are going to go to your friends and you are going to boast, and if they will say like, what are you doing? And you will say, yes, I am a shepherd. It's probably not something like being a soldier or other position. Yet, he was entrusted in this position, and how he was doing it, how he was doing his duty. Let's say it once again. First of all, David, in a humble obedience, was fulfilling his duty. David was faithful to his duty even when his life was at risk. And third, David, he trusted the Lord 100%. Dear, I believe that before me right now are sitting future pastors. Maybe some of you are currently in the ministries as the youth pastor or a children pastor. Before me are teachers of the Bible, are missionaries, are evangelists. And maybe if you look ahead in 5 years in our ministry, or ahead in 10 years, we picture ourselves as big pastors, having big churches, our mission is well known. And all that is good. Nevertheless, what is requirement for reaching a bigger goals? Be faithful in little, and God will appoint you for greater. Amen.